70,000 people incarcerated from a joint.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Pretty ridiculous.
It's fucking, it's like the Nazis.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty much anything that's non-violent. I mean, I really just think should be locking people up for life for it.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it, man. You're not hurting anybody. You're doing your own
It's not
thing.
so much about drugs. It's just it's non-violent offenses. That just your whole life, you know.
Oh, that says live, and are we live?
Just that screen, not the audio.
Right.
Just letting people know that there is a show and they're tuned into the right place. See, yeah,
That's pretty good, man. That's awesome. On the TV station.
Oh, cool.
Famous piano man.
Hey, man. World record holder.
I beat North Korea. Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm starting to get on my damn nerves. And I'm about to say something. I never want to say anything like, Jacob keeps calling me drunk, trying to speak Norwegian. Wouldn't have compass. I bet he's called me 4 times in the last 7-8 days. Drunk.
I talked to him probably about a week ago. I don't think he was drunk. Well, he probably was drunk.
He was drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to make a trip back up there next month sometime, so I'll swing by his cabin up there. Have you ever been up there in West Virginia?
No, he showed me his picture the other day, Facebook. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he's probably showing you what he built out in Iowa or in Illinois.
banjo.
All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're live in Chalmette. We got 3 great piano players here tonight. Jeff Staus and Lucky Lee and Jim Buie. Tim Buie, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, Tim Buie.
Okay.
I just met you, so you got to forgive me a little bit. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna play some music. Take it away, Tim.
Nice of everybody to tune in right today. Of course, we're living in different times, and you know what, man? Music is our savior. I love music. And as opposed to doing some Billy Joel or Elton, Beatles, some of my favorite music, James Taylor, I'm going to do a couple original songs. One's called Carolina Sky. Matter of fact, I just wrote this with the storm that hit the East Coast, Oak Island, Ballhead Island, Southport, Wilmington, North Carolina, that area. And it's about all the folks who's dealing with misery, that if you simply look to the sky, God's watching you, man, taking care of you. It's called Carolina Sky. I just recorded it last week, the day after the storm. I was motivated, and I actually wrote it for my sister, Deidre, who lives in Southport, North Carolina. I love this song. I have seen all the oceans around this great planet. I have seen all the valleys and hillsides of green. I have seen all the canyons and mountains of high. I've only seen heaven and that Carolina sky. I have smelled all the flowers from Southport to Norway. I've watched all the pictures change orange to brown. I have listened to music with tear in my eyes. I've only seen heaven and that Carolina sky. Sun so bright, feels so right, looking above. And leaves are dancing around. The sky's so blue, the clouds so white. I close my eyes, I lay myself on the ground. There are moments on earth that have such deep meaning. There are moments that give us a reason to cry. When I ask for the truth and a reason for living, I simply look up to the Carolina sky. Carolina sky. Here's a special verse I wrote from my friends and family in Wilmington, North Carolina, and up and down the coast. And Mark Baggett, if you're listening, I love you, brother. Well, the storm brought the water, the salt in the sea, brought a path of destruction with pure misery. Well, we all felt the Spirit as we closed our eyes. We ask for God's mercy in that Carolina sky. Carolina sky. Carolina sky. Carolina sky. The crowd goes crazy. Thank you. Let me do one more original. This is called Home. I was born and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina, and had a pretty good upbringing with my mom and dad, my brother and sister and family. It's called Home. So fun to play some original stuff, man. Wait to hear the other piano players coming up. I'm just a starter. Hello, Debbie McManus. Well, they say that home's a place a heart can stay, and that time will heal all loneliness someday. But the miles that keep on showing, God, my distance keeps on growing. I've never been so far away from home. Well, they say that all good things must come to pass, but my memories of home will always last. Yes, the miles that keep on showing, God, my distance keeps on growing. I've never been so far away from home. And I think about the days and wonder why that I didn't take more time to say goodbye. Well, they say that home's a place a heart can stay, but somehow we always go our separate ways. Yes, the miles that keep on showing, God, my distance keeps on growing. I've never been so far away from home. And I think about the days and wonder why that we didn't take more time to say goodbye. Well, they say that home's a part a heart can stay, and that time will heal all memories someday. But the miles that keep on showing, God, my distance keeps on growing. I've never been so far away from home. I've never been so far away.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Tim.
Yep.
You have a company, right, that you started?
I do have a company.
What's
Thank
it
you for asking.
called?
USA Dueling Pianos, and it's usaduelingpianos.biz.
Yeah, and you know, with COVID and everything, how's that going?
Yeah, I wish it was going gangbusters, but unfortunately it's not. We've had around 12 events that were signed and contracted fall through due to the COVID chance, and so we're being positive. You know, we have so many people talking to us and emailing us and communicating and calling, saying, hey, once this is over, we'd love to have you. And I know it's going to happen.
And you did a couple gigs recently, right?
I did. I just played the memorial at a funeral over in Metairie, Louisiana, a great event over there. Just played over at, I did a big wedding. I was a hired piano player with my colleague Jeff Staus, who's going to play here in a minute. I reckon 6 weeks ago, we played up at Holly Springs South, Mississippi, at Mississippi's biggest mansion. It's called the Walter House, and that's where Ulysses Grant lived during the Civil War. It's a $15 million mansion. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's expensive. I hope they paid you well, you know.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about it's massive. I'm talking about it's massive.
Well, you know, I appreciate you doing this and your interest in being a part of the cooperative. What we're doing here is we are fundraising for Fiendo, which is a musician-owned streaming platform. It won't just be live streaming. Live streaming is, you know, and we talked about this earlier, it's a means to an end. But it'll have everything, you know, a whole streaming platform like Spotify or Pandora where you can make your own playlists, and then also video aspect to it as well. So
I love it. I think it's a brilliant idea.
well, thanks. We're going to try to get it up and running before October 1st. That's my goal, so that we can start building subscribers and supporting musicians through the site as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, man. I'm all for it, brother.
Anyway, I'm going to let you get back to playing some music. What else you got?
I'm going to do one more original song, and then I'll do a song that's not original, and I'll turn it over to one of my dear friends, Mr. Lucky Lee. This is called How Could You Know? And really, I wrote this song, I wrote the music 15 years ago, just recorded it in the studio about 2 weeks ago. It's about being homeless, and how do we know what it is to be homeless? Why are these people homeless? We don't know what everybody goes through in their daily lives. And this was recorded at Maroney Studios in New Orleans with Rick G. Nelson and Justin Armstrong. Let's see if I can remember the words. And give a shout out to the Terrace Foundation in Santa Barbara. They're feeding thousands of people with Mr. John Jeffries. Thank you, John. Have you ever seen a man from a rusty can? Have you ever been alone? You have no food and you have no home. So tell me, my friend, how could you know? I tell you, my friend, how could you know? How do we know what it's like to be on the street? Gosh, that'd be horrible, man. Have you ever walked the streets, getting stares from the one you meet? Have you ever really felt the pain, freezing cold and freezing rain? I tell you, my friend, how could you know? I ask you, my friend, how could you know? How could you know, my friend, what it's like to be alone? You sleep through the rain and wind in paper boxes called your home. You're living off bread from the birds that have been fed. How could you know? Did you hear that line? Birds that have been fed. I was at a park here in New Orleans a few years ago, and sitting on a park bench, and this lady came. She was spreading out all this bread for the birds, and like any park. And I'm sitting there watching it, checking it out. And next thing I know, I see this definitely a homeless gentleman come out, looked around, and he scooped up the bread and he shoved them in his mouth. And it made an impact on me. And that's why I wrote the song, Birds That Have Been Fed. It's a true story. Let's see if I can remember the words. Have you ever been feeling alone? How could you know? Can't remember, my friend, what it's like to be alone. Sleep through the rain and wind in paper boxes called your home. You're living off bread from the birds that have been fed. How could you know? 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 Nice little song there. I like that song. Thank you so much. Let me do a song I know shake off, that's the game. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. I say that nobody loves you when you're down and out, my friend. In your pocket, you ain't got no penny. As for friends, well, there ain't just many. When you get back on your feet again, everybody wants to be your long-lost friend. I know it's a shame, good Lord, that's the game. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. Woo! Ric Flair. Nobody loves you when you're down and out, my friend. In your pocket, you ain't got no penny. As for friends, you know there just ain't too many. When you get back on your feet again, everybody wants to be your long-lost friend. I know it's a shame, nobody's to blame, but nobody loves you. Nobody loves you. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. That's very appropriate for these days. Woo! I'm going to do one more song, and that's going to be it for Tim Buie. We're going to bring up my colleague, Lucky Lee, folks. He's been around the world. He's been part of Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop on Bourbon Street for over 20-some-odd years. So let me do a little boogie-woogie here just to have a little fun. Scratch my back, and it goes something like, the Chance, I can't thank you enough for having me here today. It's very, very kind.
Your house, isn't it?
Well, it is my house. We're shooting from my house, but okay, it's nice having you in the house. Let me rock and roll.